Hey, it's Lauren with Bargain Bead Box, and today we're going to be creating a necklace using the February Floral Fantasy collection. So from the box, I'm going to be using one of our butterfly charms. I will be using the filigree floral links and pendant. And I also have the faceted triangle beads, our coated hematite beads, and the chain. The only thing I am using that is not in the box are my jump rings. These are DUP-Ring 117 from the Bead Box Bargains website. And they're a stainless steel. I think it's an 8mm. It might be a 7. I'll check on that and get the link in the comments for you. And I've just got some stainless steel eye pins. These are pin-552 from Bead Box Bargains. You can absolutely use the clasp that comes with the box for this, but it's so pretty and you don't really see the clasp here, so I'm saving mine to feature in a design where you see the clasp more. And I'm using a magnetic clasp, TOG-783 from Bead Box Bargains. But again, you can use the one that comes with the box if you want. Alright, so that's everything we need for this necklace. I'm going to go ahead and lay out some materials and we'll get started. Alright, now this necklace is going to be comprised of beaded links, and we're going to use jump rings to attach our little filigree links here. So I'm going to start out by making 6 identical beaded links using eye pins. And on each eye pin, I'm just going to put one of our triangle beads, and then a hematite bead, and then another triangle. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that 5 more times. This is a little bit repetitive, but makes beautiful sparkly beaded links. You don't need a huge eye pin for this. I think mine are about 35mm, but honestly, you could probably do a 30mm and be fine. We're just going to do crystal, hematite crystal. I love the blue iris finish on those hematite beads. It's so sparkly. And those little crystal triangles, they're small, but they have a really big sparkle too. And a fun thing about this design is that it doesn't use up a ton of beads either. You still have plenty of both types on the strand to use for other projects. But you still get a fun necklace. Alright, so got my eye pins ready. Now one thing I am going to try to pay attention to with these, first I'm going to trim them down, leave about, what is that, like half an inch-ish. What I try to pay attention to with these is I want the loops to be parallel. I don't want it running off in a random direction because that can make it not hang as nice. So I try to hold it with the loop. You can see that's the side. I'm going to hold it pointing straight at me, and then I'm going to roll away from my body. I'm going to grab it at the base and roll it up. I'm going to be kind of careful, try not to crush that crystal bead. And you can see now I made a little hook. I'm going to grab the top of that hook, and I'm going to roll it back down into the base of the pin. And there's your loop. I might straighten it up a bit there. And there's my loop. Alright, you see how those loops are parallel to each other? It just helps things hang a little more nicely. Now I'm just going to repeat this 5 times. So you can definitely skip ahead if you want to. Just going to roll away from me, grab the base, pull it back, grab the tip of that hook there and roll it down. And then straighten it up. I may have cut this one a little long. You see that? There's a lot of space. So I'm going to trim it down and try again. Maybe. There we go. It's just one of those trial and error things sometimes. And I'm trying to be a little conscious of the crystals. And so I psyched myself out and left too much space. No, it's fine. You want enough room to make your loop, but not so much room that they go all over the place. Yeah, those are not my most parallel, but it's not awful either. So I'm going to try to pay better attention with this one. There we go. There we are. Just roll that down. And we're halfway there. working with eye pins, you can also use wire if you want. I like eye pins because they come with one loop already made, and that way I only have to make one loop. I have tendinitis in my wrists, and this is one of those skills that's just a little bit harder on them. So anytime I can decrease the amount I have to use them, I'm happy. It makes me able to bead for longer sessions, do more, and have fewer physical repercussions, which I appreciate. So that's one reason I like eye pins, and I always like stainless steel, just because of the innate anti-tarnish properties. Stainless steel is going to be very durable and have a longer lasting finish than a coated brass typically. So I like to go with that when I can. It's also pretty economical. I really like these ones we've got in there. Nice thickness too. They are easy enough to work with, but still thin enough, or still sturdy enough that I feel like the loops will hold nicely, but thin enough that I can get my beads on there easily. Pretty happy with that. Stainless steel also tends to be a pretty, what am I doing? I just made that loop perpendicular. I got talking, guys. That's my bad. Sometimes when I'm just making loops that go into, when I'm just making links that connect to each other, I often do fully perpendicular loops instead of parallel. It doesn't matter that much, but for this one, I tried it doing all parallel loops, and it kind of hung a little more nicely, draped a little more nicely, is the word I'm looking for there. Okay, so I'm going to actually pay attention to what I'm doing here now. That's usually helpful when you're making a tutorial, just to know what you're doing. All right, gonna pull that loop back a little bit so it's nice and up straight. Not my roundest loop, but you know what? It'll work. All right, we have 6 little beaded links now. So now it's time to connect everything. It's going to be fun. This is a fairly quick moving project, which I enjoy. I've got my little jump ring, which is a fun jump ring opener tool. And I'm going to start by making my focal. So for the focal, I'm going to take this fun filigree floral pendant, and I'm going to put this little blue butterfly on top of it, so it kind of hangs in the middle. So I'm going to make sure I have it facing out and not towards the pendant, because that would not look great. And now I'm just going to close that ring up here. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our focal. I'm next going to connect 2 of the links. And if you have a little 3-hole connector, you can use one here. But I'm going to show you what I do when I don't have one, just because it's a little easy thing to keep in your pocket if you ever run into that. So I'm going to connect 3 links. I want everything to hang nicely. So I'll connect these 2 first of all. And now I'm going to open the 3rd one, and I'm just going to put it through both of these links like that. And now we've got a little triangle of connected links, and that's just going to kind of help things hang the way we want them to hang. I'm going to, that's just to show you how I make it. Now I have to actually connect things. So I'll open one link and string on one of our beaded, open one jump ring and string on a beaded link. There we go. Oops. But I lost this one. There we go. So each ring should contain the other 2 rings, as well as the piece that you're putting on it here. All right. So there we go. Now I'm going to open this ring and put on the other link. There we are. And now I'll just put on the bottom pendant. Okay, I've just laid this out so you can see kind of how these jump rings connect to each other to make that little 3-point connector. And now I'm just going to open the ring on my pendant and slide it into that 3rd ring that is not connected to either of the beaded links there. So now you should have each jump ring on that little 3 that we put together should have something connected to it. You've got a link on either side here, and then the pendant in the middle. And that's just an easy way to do a 3-way connection without having to have one link behind the other. So, all right, now we're going to go ahead and attach these smaller filigree medallion links using jump rings. And there we go. I'm just going to put that on the link, put that through our beaded link, close it up. And when you're opening and closing jump rings, you always want to make sure you're swinging them towards or away from you. You are not trying to curl and uncurl them because you will never get them curled back the way that they were before. So you just pull them towards you or push away from you. So your opening should look something like that. There. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach the link to the other side of that ring. And then you just swing it back down to close it up. Look at that. All right, and we're going to do this over here as well on the other side. This necklace really does come together pretty quickly. It's a lot of opening and closing jump rings and a lot of making little loops, but it's very pretty. I love these medallions with the sparkly blue accents. It makes me happy. And I knew when I found these and the larger matching piece that I wanted to make a necklace like this. So it's fun getting to finally put it together. Okay, now we're literally just going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to put these links on and just attach these with jump rings. So here we go. And you can absolutely use 2 pliers to open the jump rings. You don't have to have the jump ring tool, but it is a very inexpensive tool, and it's like the best $1.29 I've ever spent personally. I really like them. We do have them on our website, I think in the jump rings category, if you need one, but you can find them at craft stores and stuff too. They are definitely, in my opinion, worth it. There's a lot of single-use tools I'm not a huge fan of, but this is one that I am. All right. Swing that open. Connect the finding here. And there we go. And then last one here. Just going to swing it open and connect this link. All right, this is the point at which you get to decide how long you want your necklace to be. So we've got our beaded section here. Isn't that pretty? I think that's really cute. Now I'm going to just add some of the chain from the box to the back. And you can add however much you want, however long you want it to be. I'm going to have mine be a little on the shorter end of things. And then I'm going to put this magnetic clasp in the back of it. I love magnetic clasps on necklaces. I like this one because you have to like pull it out. It's got that little extra channel. And I'm going to add probably about, probably about 6 inches on either side here. Going to end up with about like an 18-inch-ish necklace. So yeah, I'm just going to double over how much I want here. And this is not welded chain, so you can swing it open like a jump ring, which makes it a little easier to work with. Just going to see how it's thick though. Got to find the right notch here. Do I have to use the thickest notch? Maybe. All right, and we're just going to swing it open. I may actually do the 2-plier method for this just because I don't want to Don't want to damage. I'm not confident with this twisty shape in that ring. It's great for jump rings, but there we go. Swing it open. And I'm going to go ahead and take the small parts off. I'll probably just use a jump ring to attach, starting at the larger loops. Alright, so I'm done with this part of the chain. Got this length. Because I pulled the small loop off that one side, I'm going to pull it off the other as well. The figure chain is really fun. You have the larger and smaller alternating loops. Just for consistency's sake, I'm going to pull the small loop off this side too. Alright. And now I'm going to find the middle of it, or middle-ish, which is going to be this loop here. I'll open that one up and remove it as well. There we go. So now we have two equal or very close to equal pieces of chain. I get my jump ring back, switch to my not fancy, but good old faithful chain nose pliers. That's what I like to use. I know some people prefer to use like a nylon nose on jump rings, but the stainless steel I find is very sturdy. And for me, the grip is better. And anything that this grips, my wrist doesn't have to. So I don't always use fancy pliers. I use what works for me. And if you have ones that work for you, that is awesome. Alright, so I'm just going to attach that with a jump ring. Do that again on the other end. And then all that's left is to attach the clasp. And you can use smaller jump rings for that if you want to. You can use those two chain loops you just removed, if you did remove them. I'm just going to do the jump ring because it's easier. Alright, so there are chain ends, and now all I'm going to do is take these last two jump rings, put them through that last link in the chain, and through the loop on the clasp. Very simple, very easy. And we are just about done. I'm going to make some kind of fancy, probably multi-strand beaded necklace as well. But this one, I've been thinking about making this ever since I saw those matching links and pendant. I just had to get out of my system. I think it's really fun and pretty, kind of dainty. You get that blue butterfly there, which matches the beads nicely. There we go. It's like, what's going on? The chain was just not wanting to behave itself. There we go. And I do think using the 3 jump rings in the center kind of just helps everything hang the way that I want it to. And yeah, it looks nice. It looks like the links are all working out. The jump rings are sitting nicely. I'm happy with that. And then we've got our magnetic clasp. Alright, so we are done with all of our jump rings. I will say some of these, like the filigree components especially, are very thin. If you have a problem with your jump rings, like these ones came very closed, and I'm pretty confident with the way they look. But if you have problems with a little gap in your jump rings, or you're worried about the filigree slipping through, I would just take a little GS Hypo Cement or something, and you can put a little dot on that connection just to hold it shut. You don't have to. I usually don't, especially with the thicker stainless steel jump rings. But if you're concerned about it, or if you're, making it for a client, sometimes I'll make that extra effort, though it is entirely up to you. All right, well, there we have it. That's our finished necklace. You've got your little butterfly accent and beaded links and your clasp on the chain there. This is just a really fun, simple design, but I've been thinking about making it ever since I found these matching components. I'll probably do another beaded multi-strand fancy piece later. I just really had to get this out of my system. I've been seeing this in my dreams. But I like the way that the little triple loop here helps things hang neatly. And yeah, I really love the contrast of the butterfly with the silver, the blues and the silver together. I think it looks really pretty. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I always enjoy creating with you, and I would love to see what you have made with your bargain bead box. If you'd like to share in our Facebook group, the Bargain Bead Box Creative Corner, you can also see, if you need ideas, amazing designs that our other members have come up with. I'm always so impressed and blown away by the creativity and skill in the group, and yeah, just the amazing talent. Everything from really simple, effective beaded designs to incredibly fancy like wire work, just everything in between. It's all gorgeous. So feel free to check that out. And if you are a Bargain Bead Box member, then you got your February collection for $22.99 with free shipping in the USA. If you are not currently a member but would like to sign up, we will be shipping out March's box next. So if you sign up now, you'll receive March's beads, which will go out by March 10th. So sign up by March 9th, and you'll start with March's beads. The February box, we still have a few available at our sister store, beadboxbargains.com, and we'll have a link for that in the description for you as well. But thank you all so much, and as always, happy beading.